How many children do you have?
23, 22 baby mother. Real bad man.
Man, to me, nobody arise free up through the jail shabby jungle. You could have pass 52 subject in GC, pass 1 million levels. He ruled dancehall, live like a king. But behind the gates was a secret family, silent wealth and a fall no one saw coming. This is Ninja Man, like you've never seen before. His wife, 7 kids, hidden mansion, and shocking 2025. 5 net worth revealed. Now, who is Ninja Man? From ghetto to dancehall legend, before he became one of Jamaica's most controversial and unforgettable dancehall icons. Ninja Man was just a boy from the streets of Anado Bay, St. Mary, born Desmond John Ballantyne, on January 24, 1966. His early life was far from easy growing up in the harsh ghettos of Kingston. He saw violence, poverty, and survival. In its rawest form, these early experiences would shape not just his music, but the fierce no-nonsense persona he brought to the stage in the early 80s. He began performing under the name Double Ugly, but it didn't take long for the name Ninja Man to take over. Why Ninja? Because he was fast, sharp, and deadly with lyrics. He quickly became known for his rapid-fire style, controversial lyrics, and intense clashes with other artists. He didn't just perform songs, he dominated the stage like a lyrical warrior. His battles with Shabba Ranks and Super Cat became legendary. Fans loved him for his raw energy, unpredictable style, and unapologetic attitude. But behind the aggression and attitude was a deeply spiritual man. Ninja Man often spoke of God and redemption in his interviews. And in his later years, he even tried to guide the younger generation away from violence. Despite his gangster image, he wanted peace in the streets of Jamaica. However, his life took a dark turn in 2009 when he was charged with murder. That case would drag on for 8 years before he was convicted. In 2017 today, in 2025, he sits in prison serving a life sentence, but his legacy still echoes across the dancehall world. Younger artists still mention his name with respect, knowing that without Ninja Man, the game wouldn't be what it is. He may be behind bars, but outside his story continues to unfold through his family, his wealth, and the empire he built before everything changed. And now, as we dive into his private world, let's meet the woman who stood by him through fame, fire, and prison. Meet Ninja Man's wife, the woman behind the warrior. While Ninja Man made headlines with his lyrics, feuds, and trials, very little was known about the woman who stood silently in the background. His wife, her identity, has remained largely private over the years, and that's not by accident. Ninja Man, despite being a loud public figure, always kept his personal life tightly guarded. But insiders in the Jamaican dancehall community say she has been the anchor in his chaotic life, strong, loyal, and deeply spiritual. Though her name has never been officially confirmed in the media, those close to the family describe her as humble and reserved, completely opposite to Ninja Man's public persona. She stayed away from the limelight, never seeking attention, even when she had every right to step forward. People who knew her say she was his emotional support during his most difficult moments, especially when his legal troubles began. She was the one holding the family together when headlines screamed about arrests and trials. Friends say that their relationship wasn't just romantic. It was a partnership built on loyalty and understanding. She knew Ninja Man not as the wild dancehall star, but as Desmond, the father, the man, the flawed but sincere soul. Through the years, she attended court dates, visited him in prison, and continued raising their children while he was away. Even today, while he serves a life sentence, she is still believed to be a quiet presence in his life, managing what's left of his affairs and preserving his legacy. Her faith has also been a guiding light. Just like Ninja Man, who often spoke of God in interviews. She is said to be a deeply religious woman. Those who know her personally describe her as a praying wife, someone who believes in redemption, mercy, and miracles, even in the darkest times, in a world where many partners would walk away from scandal and chaos. She chose to stay, that loyalty isn't something you can buy with fame or fortune. It's earned through years of love, struggle, and quiet endurance. She didn't chase the spotlight, but her strength made sure Ninja Man didn't fall apart completely. As we move further into Ninja Man's world, it's time to meet the children she helped raise, some of whom are now stepping into their father's giant shadow inside Ninja Man's family. Meet his children. Ninja Man is more than just a dancehall legend. He's also a father in total. He is believed to have 7 children, and like much of his personal life, he's kept their identities mostly out of the public eye. But those who followed his journey closely know that fatherhood has always been a part of his story, even as controversy and legal battles clouded his name. One of his most well-known children is Ninja Gully, who followed in his father's footsteps by entering the music industry. Though he never reached the same heights, Ninja Gully inherited the same lyrical fire and presence that once defined his father. He has often spoken about the pressure of living up to the Ninja Man name, but also the pride that comes with being his son. In interviews, he's described his father as both strict and wise, a man who demanded discipline, but also cared deeply. The rest of Ninja Man's children have largely stayed out of the spotlight, some live overseas, while others have remained in Jamaica, living more private lives. What's clear is that they grew up in a world of contradictions, surrounded by fame, yet burdened by headlines of violence and court cases. While some children tried to build careers, others struggled with the emotional weight of having a father in prison. But Ninja Man always considered himself a family man. Those close to him say he was fiercely protective of his children and made sure they were never drawn into the darker side of the dancehall world in prison. Sources say he continues to stay in contact with them, offering guidance and urging them to choose peace over violence, education over street life during his trial. In 2017, it was his family, especially his children and wife, who were visibly emotional in court. Some even begged the judge for leniency. Their pain showed that beyond the image of a tough-talking dancehall general, Ninja Man was a real father, whose actions deeply affected those he loved. In 2025, several of his children are now adults, raising families of their own, while none have yet reached international fame. Their bond with their father remains. They continue to visit him, speak out for him, and protect his legacy in their own quiet way. They're carrying the torch forward as we now step into the next chapter. Let's take a look at the mansion where this complicated family once gathered, the hidden home where Ninja Man ruled his personal kingdom, Ninja Man's hidden mansion, a secret house tour, before prison bars became his reality. Ninja Man lived in style. His house, tucked away from the public eye, was more than just a home. It was a fortress located in Jamaica. His mansion has long been the subject of curiosity and speculation. Few people ever saw it in person, but those who did described it as grand, well-secured, and full of luxury features that matched Ninja Man's bold personality from the outside. The property looked modest, high walls, heavy gates, and strong security. But once inside, visitors were surprised by the sheer size and design. The home had multiple rooms, custom furniture, marble floors, and high-end appliances. A personal studio was built into one section of the house where Ninja Man recorded some of his later work. That space was sacred to him. It was where the artist became a philosopher, often recording deep spiritual songs reflecting on life, justice, and struggle. Some neighbors claimed the mansion had a secret underground room, perhaps for security or storage. Though unconfirmed, such rumors added to the mystery of the home. Ninja Man was known to be extremely private about his living space, rarely allowing cameras or interviews inside. The mansion also featured a large yard, a garden with tropical plants, and a garage filled with luxury cars. It wasn't flashy from the outside, but inside it was every bit the residence of a man who had lived through extremes: fame, wealth, violence, and redemption. After his 2017 conviction, the mansion was left under the care of family members over the years. There have been reports that parts of the house were abandoned or damaged. Some say it's slowly decaying, becoming a shadow of its former glory. Others believe it's still in use, maintained quietly by his wife and children, as a symbol of what he once was and what he might still reclaim. If freedom ever comes in 2025, it stands as both a monument and a mystery, one that holds memories of celebration, conflict, and creativity, from hidden rooms to spiritual corners. Ninja Man's house is not just a structure, it's a reflection of the man himself, complex, guarded, and unforgettable. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of legendary icons. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.